Kavita ma'am has done her Executive Women's Entrepreneur Program at IIM Bangalore. She has master degree in public administration from the Annamalai University. She is a consummate and passionate professional trainer with close to 10 years of quality exposure to learning and development. Donning various professional hats across her career spanning over 15 years, she has had quality exposure to marketing, retail operations, and to various aspects of printing and sales. Her previous assignment at the MNC petroleum giant Shell gave her quality exposure to international best practices in human resource development. This is the proverbial turning point in her career where she identified her passion and decided to become an independent trainer, imparting social skill, personal development, retail sales, operations, hospitality, and soft skills training to students of various schools and colleges. Kavita ma'am has trained over 70,000 people from blue collar to middle management during her training career within a short span of time and has earned admiration and respect of her trainees and the organizations that have engaged her services. Assignments that involves molding, shaping, realigning, learning and development aspirations of people young or old are her forte. She specializes in custom crafting programs to suit people who are comfortable with local language usage. She has trained students in various university and college across Tamil Nadu. She has been a guest speaker to colleges, schools, and to various charity foundations. She has also trained people in corporate, retail, hospitality, and manufacturing industries. She has also been a judge to various programs in colleges and public events. Topics handled by Ms. Kavita ma'am are behavioral training, leadership training, etiquette, personality development, conflict management, constraint management, team management, motivation training, women's safety, saving and budgeting for women, time management, life skills, public speaking, customer service, body language, stress management, positive life, art of saying no, and many more. We are happy to welcome you, ma'am. Over to you, ma'am.
Good evening, everybody.
Ma'am, we want you to
Yeah,
share your journey and we want some tips to make us have a clear idea about how to become an entrepreneur in future, ma'am, to just
okay.
come across our obstacles, ma'am. Thank
Okay,
you, ma'am.
let me just take you through some my journey, like whatever you read thing. Okay, I started my career. I will not say as a career. I've just as after my schooling, I was just as a summer holiday types. I've been put through a training program. I mean, on printing. Say about it was 1 2 years diploma kind of a thing. Then because actually I wanted to do journalism or law, but things got diverted, and then I got into that. But from there, what happened is one of the biggest printing giant called TTK. Uh, they have they had a press called TT Maps. If you girls by any chance in your school days, if you check the Atlas or anything, that would have been, they are the only people who have been doing it those days. And it is a prestige, all the TTK Pharma, they are a big giant. So I got an opportunity to join there, and such a big company for a small kid is something my mom or my even my professors at the coast, they don't want me to refuse it. They said, okay, it's a good thing, grab it. I don't know anything about it. Okay, fine, grab it. Okay, I went. That's how my career started. And I was the youngest in the team, and they used to call me as Kannakutti. Okay, because I was the youngest one who will be all over the every department. Because why I say this is like my entry level was always high. Maybe on the other side, you can say attitude or willingness to learn, or I wanted to. I don't want to sit idle. I wanted to move. My department was sales and sales coordination. Once I'm done with that, then I go to the other department because I know how to make quotations. I know basic accounts, so I go to the accounts department. Those days we had all that 25 paisa, which none of you would have seen it. Like we have to calculate, and hourly thing. This used to be workers used to get some small bata, beta. Okay, all that. No? So we used to calculate all that and keep it. And then if that is done, I'll be in my telephone department. So I've been like, what in turn it gave me is like, people started noticing me anywhere, any department, even from the vice president of the secretary is not there. I know shorthand typing. So I used to tell, call that little girl. So I used to go there. Like I become an all rounder. After some point of time, I have to move on. The one or the major reason that I couldn't continue being there is the distance. And I was too young to travel. By the time I come back home, it was literally night. And then like I have to move on to another big giant called Chandamama Group. And both the group heads or company VP spoke and they said, okay, this girl is like this. I'm good to. I remember we had a uh, I think lunch in Trident, and then they said, okay, TTK VP said, okay, take her. And then Chandamama, the particular division boss, said, okay, I'm taking her. Okay, that's how I got in another company. So then I was into sales and marketing, the Endu, and the interest in learning or wanted to, the interest in learning more has been always there. The enthusiasm or whatever. After some time, the journey was on. That's again a printing industry is a quite an interesting one. But say about after say some 5 6 years, I have to move on for various reasons. I moved out from completely from printing department, and then that's when the IT or back office BPOs were been coming up. HCL. In fact, your college after three buildings from your college was HCL was there. I was working there. So that was a booming up industry. I was there. Then I said, okay, now what is next? I one thing I realized that I'm not somebody. This is very important for everybody. You need to realize whether you are a people person or you are someone who are comfortable sitting in one place and doing a desk job. I realized that I'm not cut out to sit before a computer or sit in a desk and work. I'm a people person. I would like to interact with people and I get the energy from them. That was the key thing that I always kept me going, and I said that's what I'm going to do. Then from HCL is when I took a serious turn from my towards my career, which is Shell. I joined as a manager there, and I my the biggest transformation happened there at HCL. I mean, sorry, at Shell Petroleum. Um, I again had that learning into, and I said like I wanted because we always have been a customer to a petrol station. Shell become a trendsetter for all the customer service that we call. Petrol station has always been in the mind of people saying that it's not a safer place for women to work or safer place even to women to go and fuel, and it's not the right place. It's always a dirty place, all that. But when Shell came to India, that's when I joined. After a year, is what I joined. That completely changed all over the mindset of people because it had the excellent customer service. It still many companies refers to the customer service that Shell gives. Okay, so the trend of I mean the customer service was high class, hygiene was high class, safety was something beyond words. So I got used to it, and there were a few of my I mean friends who come there. They also thought, "What's wrong with me? Why did I from a corporate life or whatever it is? What am I doing in a Shell petrol station?" You can see me. You they can see. I was there at the petrol station fueling the cars, even if it is my own friend's car. The formula faults. I mean, I follow the service steps. I fuel their cars. You could have seen me in the air gauge. I would have been mopping restrooms, everything, because there is everybody is equal. So if the job is not done, everybody has to do it. So I was learning my job that way, and it was quite interesting. There were quite a lot of challenges, as in like uh, after some time, like what do you do? Like it's a routine job, and yeah, I learned all the steps, the process of that particular thing. Yes, it's good. Now my next thing is like, okay, I want to do something, do something. New now I can't be the same person like what every day I go to my shift and create I mean work for the 6 hours or 8 hour shift and train my team, and my boss as somebody who was always like help I mean motivating people, and they say like what's next, what is next. That's when my next question popped up. Okay, what am I doing there? One day, all of a sudden, I went and asked him because that particular branch, Arcot Road, this is Vadapalni, had quite a lot of highest number of women staff. there. Then we said, like, why don't we do a all women shift? He said, like, all women shift? How? Then we said we did trials. That particular or maybe in the petroleum, and there's quite there's a big process called decantation. You have stocks. It's not an easy job. What you look, the decantation is the truck where the petrol or diesel comes in. You have to decant it. I mean, into the tanks, that is underground tanks. It's a big process. A lot of safety things are there. There's no compromise on all that. First all women shift. If I'm not wrong, it is the first one in the country or maybe in the petroleum industry across the world. That should be the first one that we have done. It got with quite a lot of encouragement, and people were very happy that we did it. Now, what is next? Okay, the next again is all women shift. So one full day, it's on again on a Wednesday in 2008. Not able to recollect the date. So we did a all women shift that is from 6 a.m. 6 a.m. in the sense generally we come around 5 o'clock to get the place ready for customer, and then it closes around 12 in the night with all these safety standards measured and not doing anything wrong, and systems has been followed, process has been followed, and no compromise, and everything has been as per the rule. We followed it and we did it. But due to safety reasons, there were a lot of my colleagues and my boss, Mr. Manoj and Shell heads were there on the what do you call ingress, that is the entry point, and they've been just waiting for 12 o'clock to knock. Okay, the moment 12 it did, and they also have been watching us that we are safe, because 12 and the complete petrol station with full of girls. Okay, then we did it, and that's yet another record in the petroleum industry. So now, what did Shell gave me? One, my boss helped me to groom what I am, and two, he was very encouraging and he helped me to design my roadmap. And third, most important turning point there is the girls and the boys. I mean, the team is all most of them are from underprivileged sector. That's the word that blue collar we say. Uh, Most of them would be school dropouts. Those days it was from tsunami affected team and differently abled team. But we trained everybody, and the way that we train, customers refuse to believe that they are school dropouts. They even said, no, they must be college people, students or something like that. But I don't believe that they are school dropouts. That is how the training happened, including the grooming, the body language, the way they talk to the customer, the service they do, it was top notch. Okay. That is the first triggering point when my boss for some reason he wanted to step out, and I decided to follow his footsteps, and I said, let's move on. And we few of us joined together and formed this company called Score Training Academy, a 12-year-old company now. The thing idea why we wanted to pick up the blue collar is they are something like for some reason they didn't get what they want, they didn't get the opportunity to study more, or they couldn't shine, or they couldn't come up in life the way that many have got. But the transformation what I mean after training, the way their life gets transformed is something that very very beautiful. You could see the transformation. Always you say, when you start a business, there should be a noble cause, there should be a reason to start a business. Yes, of course everybody starts a business to make money. Beyond that, there is a social responsibility, or there is some responsibility as a human being. Why do I do that? Is that like something like I just wanted to do a business? Yes. No, the motive is something very important. So our motive or our dream or our emotional connect was the transformation in blue collar's life. That's when we started it. And the journey continued, so continues for almost 12 years. And we are the first company in India to start as a blue collar training company, and who are continuing still as a blue collar training company. And we have trained almost across India. We have been training people, and we have seen a lot of people transforming in life. And now, like, few companies have given us an opportunity to train, like Oracle, all that have given us an opportunity to even train the uh, leadership team. Okay, that's the growth as a person. But the challenges, what as a trainer or as an entrepreneur that you face, so a couple of questions are, one is like, how do you manage your business at the same time, as somebody had asked? Okay, is two business or even multiple business? Think about multiple business, not why only two. Okay, so one is like when your systems and process on is in place, you don't need to bother about anything. Okay, it, beyond people. Okay, people, of course, they are very important in your business and in your person in your life. But beyond that, your process management is more easy, so that you don't waste so much of time on that. Number two, your dream and your aspiration towards what you wanted to do. And if you could do a wonderful time management, okay, even if it is two or three or four, like how many businesses Tata manage. Okay, how many business that Reliance, okay, they manage all in the same brand, but the number of business they manage is something like beyond your finger things. So how do I manage? What is the success story? Why do they how can they manage it? One is the dream. Okay, I want this, I'm done with this. There's something always a newness in life, no? Okay, I have a mobile. Let's talk about the commonly used product. I have a mobile. So how long will you use the same mobile? Every 1 year or 2 years, 3 years? I don't change every 1 year. Okay, so every often that you wanted or you wanted there's a new model, people wanted to change. So they wanted you wanted to upgrade, you wanted to change the pouch, you wanted to always that new thing in you. Why, when you want something new, you think about it. This is how I want it. Even if you wanted to buy a dress, you think about it. This is the model I want. You have a lot of clarity when you say very precisely. You say this is what I want. Okay, this color, this kind of pattern, or this kind of print. If it is a dress, if it's a car, you say this brand I want, this model I want, this kind of seat I want. If you want a two-wheeler, you say like this, the things that you want. We are very precise about what we want because our vision is very clear. When you come to a business also, please have your vision very clear, your dream, your aspiration, and more importantly your attitude. Okay, forget about everything, your attitude, and that fire in the belly. No, I wanted to do more. What is next? What is next? How can I get to the next step? So when you have all these things set right, the second would be you can manage your business well. Once you're done, okay, I know I have done this particular business well. Okay, we'll say business number one is done well. So what happens to next thing? Okay, so I have mastered it, I know the process. Now let me move on to the something new. Okay, so I'll pick up something new and put all my learnings, whatever I have learned from business one, I will invest that, and I'll do it that in the business too. But planning, more importantly, your process and your planning is very, very important in your second business. And maybe you can space, you can use the same space. And what else you can say? You can use a manpower with the same manpower if you can train them to do multitask, but don't forget to pay them little extra at least. Okay, because they are working for two companies or whatever. Or talk to them and tell them, okay, we're just doing a trial, so let's see how we are moving forward. And then uh, dedication and your goal towards that, and share that vision with your team. Okay, frequently get connected with your team, tell them what your vision is, and tell them, include them in your dreams. Tell them like you're part of this. When your hierarchy is correct, hierarchy, when I mean hierarchy, is not you sit on the top of the hierarchy, you be the first person, a CEO or the MD of that organization, or a team leader, or even manager of the department. It doesn't mean you have to be very authoritative and get your job done. Be polite, talk to them, explain them, tell them what you want. Be a team player. That would be the right way. Okay, be a team player, explain things to them. This is what you want, and get the result. Once you involve people and tell them this is what you want, instead of dictating that to them, tell them this is what you want, they will do it for you. Okay, and managing multiple business is not at all a big challenge unless you have the process in place, unless your vision is very clear, your attitude is clear about it. So that is on that. How do you how to generate new ideas? How to generate new ideas? Again, I would say the fire in the belly, the uh, if you want, I wanted to succeed. My dream, as Abdul Kalam sir says, your dream is not something that comes in your sleep. It is something that will never make you to sleep. Okay, it should be that strong. Okay, and you should always, I mean, it should shake you, and you will not allow yourself a sleep or something like that, and it will keep you on your toes. Okay, once you are there, your mind will be thinking like this. Okay, it will not take rest. It will know, okay, this is what I want, I will get you. Okay, you will be talking about that particular project, you will be thinking about it, you will be talking about it, you will be breathing about it if you are into it. For me, like if I want, now I'm in a process of okay, let me put this secret out. I'm in a process of starting an NGO. Okay, this is completely for women related stuff. I'm going to register it in March, touch wood. To do it in March. So now, apart from my business, okay, I know I have compartmentalized. My business is like that, doesn't get disturbed. Okay, that I keep thinking, I have my things to do, I have my emails, I have my customer calls. everything, my staffs, my seniors, the report, everything happens at the same thing. But at the same time, my dream, okay, I wanted to do this NGO by March, which I hardly have 15 to 20 days time. So how do I do? What is the name that I need to know? My mind, at the back of my mind, if you are really hungry for it, your dream will never allow you to sleep. Okay, so every new idea, okay, you're done with this, okay, what is next I can do? Have the third party perspective. If you are looking for a new ideas in the same business, okay, I'm done with this, get bored of that idea, master yourself and move on. I'm done it. Okay, now give it to somebody else. Tell, okay, hey, here, your next colleague or your junior or somebody who's coming up on the team, tell them, okay, I have done this here. This is going to be your baby. You just need to run this. Okay. And whatever you have mastered, give them the tricks and tell them this is what. Help them to think and ask them, can I come out with innovative steps? They will have a different idea. They will come. If the idea is good, please encourage them or help them to come up with new ideas. And now you are done. What else you'll be doing it? You don't like it, eating idli every day, right? You want something else, at least some fried idli or idli tandoori, sambar idli, whatnot. Okay, so you want that innovation. How did it come? Somebody thought, okay, it has to be you. I'm not, I'm bored, I can't eat idli every day. So you want different chutney if it is even the same idli. Yeah. So if you want, you don't like that routine in your life, monotonous things in your life, you will definitely come up with new ideas, and it that those ideas will, it's a freshness in your thought process, and that will help you to always stay active and young. How do you motivate yourself when you feel low? Yeah, I will not say I've never go. I mean, I always say stay motivated. Definitely no. Uh, I mean, there is always highs and lows. So when I go low, what do I do? I love music. Okay, I just start listening to it. Or I'm a kind of outdoor person, if possible. If I'm not working, or if I can take uh, take my bike or take a car and go out. One is that, and second would be like find out. I keep asking me the question, what is troubling me? Okay, why my mood is like this today? Why I'm low? Where did I go wrong? I keep talking to myself. I think I'm the best friend of myself. So what I do is I keep asking this question. I'll try and find out the answer, but I make sure I never sit in the house. If I want to cry, yeah, cry it. If I feel like writing something, I will write. If I want to call my besties and say like, hey, I feel like little low, what, I don't know what it is, I feel like just telling whatever comes in my mind. People don't really judge, so I just call them and wanted to talk everything, I'll do that. And the most important key thing here is I accept that my mood is not good, or I'm feeling very low. If somewhere I could go get some energy, where all I can go get my energy from music, I can get from people, good people around me, I can get energy. When I empty my mind by saying that to my people, okay, I'm good. Okay, food, sometimes it's something, I'm a foodie, so I like eating food, good food. So if something that will help me, yes, okay, I for the important thing is I empty my mind. I cannot take that weight and walk around, because people can easily read from my face. And my profession is very blessed. Okay, I can't sit with a low mood for a very long time. That's when somebody will call me and say, ma'am, like this, I have a challenge, like, can you help me? Doom, all my mood will go off. Okay, I say like, wow, because my mind is thinking for themselves, so I have to give a solution, or I have to counsel them, or I have to tell them what they have to do, or guide them, or now I have to be a listener for somebody else challenge. So what happens, like, my mind alternately, I mean, it start working out, and I motivate them. What is the greatest fear, and how do you manage fear? In general, no, fear is something like, my policy in life is, or what I have learned in life right now is accept. Oh, I fell down, yeah, there is a wound. Instead of saying like there is a wound, instead of that you started crying and you're denying that pain, it is not going to go anywhere. Just accept it.
What is your favorite aspect of being an entrepreneur?
Interacting with people like you. Yeah. You see, like when we go for training, this the virtual trainings are little challenging stuff, especially when we meet people one on one or as a group and do the training. No, the outcome and the way they say, "Ma'am, I just learned this and I'm doing it." I still remember. I'm not supposed to say the person name. I mean, like she came on a one-on-one counseling or a training kind of a thing some 6 years back or something. I just had 2 sessions with her, and I touched the right chord. I'm not saying I'm an expert or anything. We just touched the right chord, and we told her what she has to do. And then sky is the limit. What is the pattern or formula to become a successful entrepreneur? Please, there is no pattern or formula now. There is no such formula, but except then the dedication and the attitude and persevering towards your dream. Never give up attitude is something that's more important to any entrepreneur.
Ma'am?
Yes, please.
Like for the past 30 years or so, there wasn't like more scope for entrepreneurship research things. But due to the contribution from many sites, now it's like somewhat good. So, what do you think could be the most promising progress in this field in the coming years? What?
Entrepreneurs are always had. You have to choose the right field. Okay, that is more important. Okay, so when you choose the right field, you need to know what you're going to do and what kind of product and what is your competitor, what is the market, and how you're going to what do you call fill the vacuum, and how do you create the need for your customer to come. Why should they come to should Kavita come to Aarti and Co? You create a need. Why do I go and buy in Amazon? Why do I go and buy Big Basket? Why do I go and do a courier job? When postal was there, we thought there won't be anyone to replace postal department. When courier came, now where is postal department? One, people forget about the customer service. I'm not okay. Failure is not something someone can decide for you. Okay, failure is just a redirection. That is my learning. Okay, so don't bother about failure. You failed here. Okay, there is another thing that's coming up in my life, so I'm going to take up on that, and I'm going to give my best, and I will do it. Okay.
The pessimist sees difficulty in every opportunity. The optimist sees opportunity in every difficulty. I quote and unquote Winston Churchill. Respected speaker Ms. S. Kavita, Madam Principal, Vice Principals, Heads of the Departments, teachers, and my dear friends. On behalf of our college, I, Aarti ED, the General Secretary of Ethrat Students Union 2020-2021, deem it an honor and privilege to propose the oath of thanks on this special day. Firstly, I thank God Almighty for His blessings and guidance. I thank the speaker for the day, Ms. S. Kavita Ma'am, for taking her precious time to share her thoughts and ideas on the topic Business 101, a roadmap to entrepreneurship. Thank you for being with us today, ma'am. I'm immensely grateful to our principal, Dr. S. Koday, Vice Principal, aided Dr. D.B. Usharani, Vice Principal, self-supporting Dr. T. Ushapriya, Dean of Students, aided Dr. T. Punitavati, Dean of Students, self-supporting Dr. Anusha Bala Singh for their support and encouragement in all endeavors. I hereby acknowledge the office bearers, Lavanya S., Varsha Vasudevan, Kirtana R., Kavya J.S., Varsha M., Nandita Iyer, and Rashmini Rajanikant of the Ethrat Students Union 2020-2021 for their involvement and willingness to make this webinar a huge success. I'd like to share my special thanks to the association secretaries and class representatives of various departments for helping us in every possible way. Last but not least, I'd like to thank all the students for attending the webinar and make it a grand success. Thank you all.